This is the ambassador of the World Wrestling Network, Trevin Adams, coming to you from the OCC Road House in Clearwater, Florida. And tonight, like we do every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, it is WWN Proving Ground, Monday Night Mayhem. We got a star-studded event here tonight. Let's talk about championships. How about our FIP World Tag Team Championships on the line? Annihilation, who recently won back those tag team championships, will face two men I think you guys love. Richport Ayala and the Mad Hatter, Rafael Delgado. But that's not all. A man who stabbed us all in the back, the FIP Florida Heritage Champion, Sick Stevie Frick, will defend tonight against John Strange. And in a case of good news and bad news, I'll start with the bad news. Travel sucks, especially when you're dealing with international superstars. And we regret to inform you that tonight, Rich Swann will not be here in action. We promise you, though, you will get Rich Swann back here in WWN very, very soon. So we had a quandary, Michael James. We said, what are we going to do? And then we looked at things and we said, well, we got some really good ingredients here tonight. We've got international stars aplenty. Ruthless Rob Drake, really impressed in his debut. He's here tonight. And how about LJ Cleary? An authentic Irishman, by the way. You're going to love him when you get to see him. And today, the man is named after today, Jake St. Patrick. It's St. Patrick's Day. A triple threat, an actual St. Patrick in the main event. Jake St. Patrick, Ruthless Rob Drake, LJ Cleary. I assure you, that triple threat will knock your socks off. But you know what? I'm going to waste no more time. Speaking of awesome socks, let's hand things over to our live event host, Mr. Michael James.
Come on. How loud? All I heard was her. Try that again. Let me hear you guys. Come on. You guys ready for opening out? Ladies and gentlemen, our opening bout is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first.
So welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ambassador of the World Wrestling Network, Trevin Adams, and there you are, Hardcore Giant. Were you over there getting freaking wings? Is that why you missed the kickoff of the show?
That's one of the benefits of coming to the OCC Road House. It's that food, and I'm sorry I lost track of time, and you knew it was the wings.
I don't blame you at all. I'm telling you, you need to be here live, ladies and gentlemen. OCC Road House every Monday night, kicking things off. It's going to be a fun one. Getting things started here, our WWN Proving Ground Monday Night Mayhem kickoff match. Ron, I am absolutely ecstatic about tonight's event. Again, apologize in advance to all the folks who were hoping to see Rich Swann versus LJ Cleary tonight, but I think WWN officials came up with a great solution. Ruthless Rob Drake did debuting LJ Cleary, and I'm telling you, you're going to love this kid. And, of course, Jake St. Patrick. It's going to be a triple threat for the ages.
Yeah, what a main event, and just indication of what we're doing here every single Monday night. And at the OCC Road House in Clearwater. Awesome atmosphere. Kids eat free. Everybody gets in free unless they want to buy a VIP ticket to the front row. Just a party atmosphere.
It's the place to be, I'm telling you right now. Whether you live here in the greater Clearwater, Tampa Bay area, or if you're ever visiting St. Pete, Tampa Bay, Clearwater, or even Orlando. It's not a far ride from Orlando, I can tell you from experience.
No, you want a big night of entertainment, you come to the OCC Road House. You got wrestling under the WWN banner, but constant live music. Seen a couple awesome concerts here myself.
And we are underway. Salazar de la Muerte debuting last week in the ring, but at the WWN Super Show Uprising, shocking us, coming out of the crowd, attacking our WWN Proving Ground champion, Sage Scott. I think Salazar's definitely got his eyes on that championship. As you see the charismatic Daniel C. You think he's listening to some Jimi Hendrix these days?
Sam C is one of those young talents that we've just watched from his infancy in professional wrestling, and it's so great again to see the confidence, and he looks like a man to be reckoned with in there, but he is in there with a dangerous individual who clearly has a point to prove. Beautiful knife edge chop across the chest of Sam C.
And Sam showing that speed, changing direction, and perhaps able to get away from the big man. Great counters for the counters, and a flying head scissors takes over Salazar.
Salazar with a swing and a miss. The speed on the side of Sam C, but doesn't matter how quick you are, Trevin. My God.
Spinning side slam like a brick wall for Samuel C. And unfortunately, Salazar de la Muerte, with a name like that, Ron, you already knew this guy was going to be dangerous. I'd heard a lot about Controversial Inc. And it was only a matter of time before you'd see Salazar here in a WWN ring, and we're already feeling the effect, Ron.
And he clearly has a chip on his shoulder because he felt he should have been an FIP in WWN for a long time and has been proving himself throughout the Southeast and spends a lot of time in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Extremely successful overseas, but here in the United States is where he's really making it. Oh my God.
The Beal for Samuel C. It's crazy to think we've talked before, 9 years in the sport. Samuel C, we remember when he just began in our sport. Sam getting to the point of a bet, and what an elbow by Salazar. Knocking the oxygen out of Sam. Is this enough, Ron?
I don't think that's just one of those things. I've seen Sam so many times in the ring, and the guy doesn't understand the word or the concept of quit.
Oh, no.
It's going to take a lot more than that not to discount anything Salazar's doing, but it's going to take more than that to finish off Sam C.
Remember, Sam's a former two-time Cruiserweight champion here in the World Wrestling Network. Pinfall. You're seeing the speed of Samuel C. It's been his biggest weapon, but a lariat.
Every time we bring up the speed. Hold on, cover, hooks the leg. I think that's it. 2 and maybe 3/4, but we keep mentioning the speed on Sam C, but he just gets leveled by what looks like a Mack truck in Salazar. I like the pacing. I like the way that he's controlling the tempo of this match.
Well, and that's the thing when you look at Salazar. One of those guys has held tag team gold all over the state of Florida. You've already talked about the fact that he's been in IWA Puerto Rico as well as IWA Florida. But, of course, Salazar here looking for that singles gold. And the message he sent battling to the back just a week ago on Monday Night Mayhem against Sage Scott, our WWN Proving Ground champion. Well, maybe as resounding as this cross body here after knocking the hearing out of Salazar as well.
Completely leveling the much bigger man, but Sam has taken so much punishment trying to shake it off. He clearly completely discombobulated at this point, Trevin.
And that's the challenge right here for Samuel. It's been such a battle, and you see them. The quick blows. Thankfully for Sam, he's able to get out of the way and throw his own jabs. And a great neck breaker.
How fluid is Sam C? Got him. Is this it? Sam with a 2 count. Referee's count is consistent. No complaints for me there.
Yeah, no question whatsoever. It's Sam right now looking at the people. Many a time, Samuel C. You've seen the people get behind Samuel C. just like they're doing right now, and is that going to be enough to defeat Salazar?
Salazar able to reverse that whip and send Samsi in, and now he's got him. Oh,
God, gotta be it. It is.
Here is your winner, the modern day executioner, Salazar,
A name like Modern Day Executioner. If that doesn't tell you what to expect, man, I don't know what will. That Death Valley driver putting down Samuel C. in a big win here in his singles debut for Salazar de la Muerte.
Very impressive victory and quite the performance by Sam C, but let's be honest, I think he bit off a little bit more than he can chew because this man is on a mission, and that is not the last you're going to hear of Salazar.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first,
Dirty Devin Diaz coming off one hell of an OCC street fight. The Emerald Empire was barred from the building last week as John Strange and Devin Diaz face it off. What a battle that was. You can check that out, of course, on the variety of locations between YouTube and Club WWN that we host these events. But Dirty Devin Diaz, well, living up to the moniker, Ron.
Yeah, he's filthy. Look at this sleaze bag.
disgruntled drunkards of the OCC Road House. If you don't know, you should know. My name is Simon Says, and I am the proprietor and the officiating council of the tangent known as the Emerald Empire. And right now, you have got your unappreciative eyes focused on the crown. Pipe down when I'm talking. The crown jewel of the Emerald Empire. Dirty Devin Diaz. And tonight, a very talented individual makes their debut here at WWN. Unfortunately, he has to try and match metal with my boy Triple D. And you people will show him the proper respect. These chains of Devin sucks will not fly. When I say Devin, you say rules. Devin! Devin! Devin!
Well, heck of a reaction there for the Emerald Emperor, Simon Says.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he was expecting, or at least wanting.
No, Vale getting a phenomenal reaction here. Indeed, for all intents and purposes, you could call this a debut for Vale. They appeared a very, very, very long time ago, early in the career in WWN, but never in a setting like this. And truth be told, in 7 years, I've seen a ton of improvement in No Avail. I was there when they started in our sport.
Really getting a huge buzz going on the internet. Just, I don't care if it's on Twitter or Instagram, No Avail just constantly buzz surrounding at every appearance that they make. It's once you see Noah that you know you got to see them again.
Avail oozing confidence, and of course, Devin Diaz, well, oozing the dirt, so to speak. And we talked about it before, the idea of Devin Diaz, it's really sleaze. It's not that the guy doesn't take a shower, trust me. The guy is surprisingly cleansly. I guess that beautiful hair like that, right? That mullet, 80s style.
Yeah, he's basically like the sexiest guy at the Elks Lodge in Nagani on a Saturday night. That's what you get when you look at Devin Diaz.
That is the best description of Devin Diaz I've ever heard, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, when it comes to Noah Avail, very interesting conversation I had with Noah. Noah made the point, hey, Florida is the forgotten state. And I said, what do you mean the forgotten state? And the conversation really went to this. In their opinion, Florida wrestling scene, there's a large part of the independent world that doesn't understand what we have going on here in our independent scene as Devin Diaz takes control of this matchup. And really, it's been Noah's mission that outside of this state, if people aren't familiar, well, guess what? They're going to champion the Forgotten State. They're going to make the Forgotten State not forgotten.
That's a battle that hasn't been fought. It's been decades, basically, that, oh, come on now.
Well,
look at those hips.
There's the swivel right there. And to your point, like you were about to say, you know, for as many times as there are eyeballs, there's definitely, you can name people that have come through, whether it was IPW Hardcore Wrestling, Riot back in the day, even Full Impact Pro. A lot of people don't realize that's where they came through first.
Well, normally when you had a Roderick Strong type, it was when they would leave Florida that they would all of a sudden become, hold on, look at this athleticism, and you talk about slap on the ass.
Well
Diaz.
done. Well done by Noah. They went around Devin Diaz, caught Devin off guard, and then was able to get a little bit of a tag, if you will. I think Devin's thrown off, and it says something for Mind Games to work on Dirty Devin Diaz.
Mind Games, big, huge chop to the chest of Vail by Diaz. The Mind Games, it doesn't matter, just the physicality, just the size advantage.
And you can see trying to change that center of gravity, but Devin not only putting on the brakes, showing that amateur wrestling background, Ron. We talked about it before, getting kicked off his college wrestling team because he was uncoachable. Not because he wasn't good, but because Devin was uncoachable.
And he was a star at Robinson High School in South Tampa. But again, he's one of those just loose cannons. He's the same way in professional wrestling. You meet this guy, the impression that he makes on you, good or bad, is undeniable.
And there's definitely an impression when you deal with Dirty Devin Diaz. And of course, having the Emerald Emperor Simon Says in Devin's corner makes him that much more dangerous. Ooh, great counter there by Noah Avail. Turning things around, trying to get the arm, perhaps looking for a submission. Indeed, they got it on. Ooh, what is this?
Do I want to know? Simon does it. Megan, is that a wet willy?
That is a wet willy, my friend. And now into the pin, crucifix. 2 count only.
Oh, that might have been the second time that we would have ever seen the wet willy pin crucifix combination, folks.
We're going to tell me about the first in a minute here, but jumping knee and drop kick as well. Vail getting our friend Dirty Devin Diaz all the way to the floor. And you can see Simon Says, I think even Says is thrown off his game.
When the fans 100% behind Vail, Devin is going to get absolutely zero sympathy. Getting ahead of steam.
Noah was planning to fly, and still will be, it looks like, diving through, taking out Dirty Devin Diaz. Great job, Noah Vail, redirection while running. I looked at Noah earlier, we had a conversation, and I said, hey, how would you describe your character, your personality? And they said, I'm a punk rock Cruella de Vil. I thought that was awesome. What a better way to describe yourself.
Yeah, and unique as it gets, both of these competitors, beautiful. To me, I'd see a lot of throwback to the territories when it comes to both of these competitors. And I think a lot of people would think I'm nuts for referencing Noah in that vein, but again, just a one-of-a-kind.
Oh, watch out for Simon.
Come on, Simon.
Official Jay Thomas did not see that, of course, and giving Devin Diaz the chance to take the head off of no avail.
Totally decapitating. No avail is Devin Diaz, who is still, you can see him favoring his chest.
And again, our official Jay Taylor. Ooh. You can see how both athletes have really went through hell here, Ron, in a short time.
Oh yeah, it's one of those, again, where I looked at it on paper where it had that opposites attract, where anything can happen, but I did expect a physical match, and that's exactly what we're getting. Hey, have you managed to find those cool suspenders the referee's been sporting the last few times out? I love those things.
No, Jay definitely wins the Suspender Award of WWN Lifetime Achievement. Vale in trouble here.
You got to admire how methodical Diaz is with his offense. Doesn't rush anything and bringing that big shoulder tackle in, but not letting go of the arm of no avail. Like a rag doll in there at this point, Trevin.
And the boot to the face as well. Vale is in trouble.
Now this is a mugging at this point.
Well, as you know, if Devin controls the pace of the matchup, Diaz will use his size. He will just pound you down. Devin, oof. Just keeps improving. You don't have to like the attitude, but you gotta appreciate what the man can do in the ring.
Yeah, what I'm really liking is how he's not releasing the grip on the hand of no avail after those vicious shoulder tackles that are just leveling no avail, but he still has total control and just brings him back up for another.
And the wrist being pulled back as Noah getting to their feet, but again countered by Devin. And manhandling, so impressive, what a slam.
The upper body strength of the ever-growing Devin Diaz. You notice the size difference since we've seen him start competing in WWN. He's just growing into somebody that I've been saying since the first time I see him. This guy, if you don't have your eye on Devin Diaz, you don't understand professional wrestling. But he's still got to get through tonight. No avail. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, nothing to lose here. Everything to gain.
It's a big debut. It's a big opportunity. But the challenge has been, for as much as Noah was in control of the matchup for the last quite a while, Devin's just been pounding on Vale, and you know the size differential here. Listen to Devin. Berating Noah Vale.
Then just disrespectfully tossing him by the hair to the mat. As far as I'm concerned, that was some precious wasted time. Look at this, that beautiful, I mean, just a buoyancy to that hair.
Trailer Park born and raised, charging in, but no, wasted time there. Noah Vale gets out of the corner. The question now is, can Vale start to mount some offense, Rod?
You've seen the shock on the face of Simon Says and the agony etched across the face of Devin Diaz, who's biting onto the ropes. The agony must be just excruciating, Trevin. My God.
Simon telling Devin what to do, but now that arm's been caught, and you see Noah, damaged arm himself, but going for those kicks as well, and beautiful uppercut.
Caught him. Think he was setting a trap. Look at the strength just hoisting Noah Vale onto his shoulders. Devin Diaz.
And multiple times in this matchup, we've seen it. Dirty Devin Diaz just using the strength to try to pull Noah around like a ragdoll, but Noah getting to the corner and using the rope as a weapon, and the arm's under attack again, Ron.
Trying to dislocate the shoulder. I mean, the torque. Bringing that arm down on the top rope. Big missile drop kick. This could be it. Trevin, he's got him. Oh,
close, not quite enough. Great offense, though, by Noah Vale. They knew they were in trouble coming off the top, continuing to target the arm. But you can see Diaz is to his feet first. Noah heading to the top again, Ron.
Hey, what a match this is. Second match of the night, setting the bar real high. Beautiful.
A lot of people were talking about this one when it was announced. As stated, oh, rake in the eyes. And that, my friend, is why Devin Diaz is dirty. And the running sit-out powerbomb, and I think that's it. Disgusting.
Here's your winner, Dirty Devin Diaz.
Let's be honest, Ron. If it wasn't for that rake to the face, to the eye, I don't think Devin would have just pulled that running powerbomb off.
Whatever it takes. That's pretty much the motto when you're doing business with the Emerald Emperor, Simon Says. But I'm going to tell you what, man, what a match that was.
Oh, absolutely. Great showcase. Great debut for no avail. But
love it.
At the end of the night, Dirty Devin Diaz, along with the Emerald Emperor, Simon Says, finding a way. And we're going to see Simon a few more times tonight.
Oh, lucky us.
Question remains, what will happen with the Emerald Empire in the house?
Diaz feeling the effects, though, still paying at Chakras. Hey, no avail. Took Devin Diaz to the limit, and Simon Says knows it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first. Of the Trust Fund Kid, Big Pigs, and the Trick God, Karen Stewart. They are NIL.
Two young, talented athletes, Ron. NIL, when together, we've definitely seen them get some big wins. Will they be able to continue that momentum, especially against this team Better Together, who back at FIP Everything Burns 2025. Little help of Mila Moore, who is not here tonight, by the way. Very victorious over Better Together.
Yeah, very noticeable in her absence. But this team is, to me, it's just felt for a while like they're ready to take it to the next level. It's not a matter of if, but when. Opportunities have been presented, though.
Did you just see Blake Banks telling you to be beat? He's
Louis Vuitton.
He's telling us we need to put him over, he said, and yes, Louis Vuitton.
I think I was in the middle of doing that.
No, not well enough.
She just wants to
Two of the most talented young men anywhere in our sport. I would hold them up. You say, who are your top 5 tag teams in independent wrestling? If they're not in the conversation, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've been singing their praises for pretty sure since the first time I seen them, but to watch them, again, the condition that they've gotten themselves in, the gear, everything, the whole package. This is just a professional wrestling tag. They deserve a lot more than what we're lucky to have them here. These are guys that are, to the sacrifices they have made for, they came from Israel.
No kidding.
Young men coming over here just hoping for the best, and the drive and the heart that both of them possess. It's love them or hate them as far as wrestling popularity, you have to respect them as men.
Well, we're going to find out, is Hadar Horvitz okay tonight, or nope? It's going to have to be a Ori takes care of business kind of night.
Ori with the assist. What a loaded card for, again, this is a Monday night in Clearwater, Florida at the OCC Road House. This is, Florida, the Tampa Bay area, the place to be. There's so much going on, and all you got to do is go to the OCC Road House. Trevin, any night of the week.
This is destination, in my opinion. This is the kind of place that, especially if you're a tourist, especially if you've never been to Clearwater, to Tampa, to St. Pete, you need to stop here. You need to check out the motorcycle displays they have from, of course, the Orange County Choppers. And you can see the Harley-Davidson sign in the background. Bert's Barracuda Harley-Davidson. Get yourself a little motorcycle action while you're here. Of course, we have action inside the ring. Hadar Horvitz and Cam Stewart starting it for their respective teams. Cam's definitely had a bit of a change, about 5 years now in the sport. But as you can see, Cam's kind of turned into more of a, how do you put it, like a DJ, if you will. Cam's been really doing the mix, making those concerts. I don't know what you call it when people are out raving, Ron. I'm trying, bud.
Yeah, but again, sometimes just something as simple as an attitude change, a change in your look, something that just reinvigorates your enthusiasm for this. It's that fire has got to be burning at all times. Because oh my, beautiful cover, lightning with that shoulder tackle and drops down. Still unable to get a 1 count though, and the competitive juices are flowing here tonight. You could tell it. A little bit of one-upsmanship. This would be a big feather in the cap of either tag team, and obviously a victory. The championship committee is always watching when you have talent of this level competing against each other, Trevin.
And 2 victories, if you will. If NIL defeats Better Together again here tonight, which wholly could happen, let's be honest, right? If that happens, you got to think they're in contention. Of course, Hadar Horvitz putting on his own clinic there, and now tagging in Ori Gold. Not wasting any time. And tandem leg sweeps after a little kiss as well. Little smooch, little St. Patty's Day kiss.
Just amazing how, I mean, I'm sitting here in awe. You know, you throw around the term well-oiled machine pretty freely these days, but that's exactly what they are. I mean, the teamwork with Better Together is just completely ridiculous.
And you already talked about it, both over 10 years in the sport. They've known each other for over 10 years as the fingers are getting ripped up hard. Ugh. Goodness. Ori Gold putting the pain there for Blake Banks. Digit manipulation and so forth. And of course, Better Together in a little less than a month, heading back to Israel. Getting a chance to wrestle back in the Holy Land. But right now, Cam Stewart tagging himself in and taking advantage of the double team, Ron.
Oh, gets ahead of steam. Beautiful clothesline. Covers. Only gets a 1 count. Chuck Oren is getting his cardio for the month in this one match. Ooh.
Our senior official in there, Chuck Oren.
Hey, how about that right hand?
Oh, Cam is awesome. Speaking of awesome, how about the return of Full Impact Pro right here to the OCC Road House? We will be live on WWNLive.com when Full Impact Pro presents Established Dominance 2025. We know the FIP World Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. August Archois defends against Jonathan Hudson along with the Emerald Emperor. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. WWNLive.com for tickets and info. But back in the ring, backslide. Rolling through. Great move by Blake, but you notice Ori just so quick with a counter. He's going to have a counter. He has the counter for the counter.
Literally. And his partner is on the same page. Look at the teamwork. Beautiful.
Stereo and continuing on here. Springboard off and takes out Cam Stewart. Hanging out in the corner just like Cam used to when he still had only cams. Of course, sold only cams to tour the world doing music festivals. True story.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I mean, that thing was over $100 a month, man. It was wearing on my pocketbook.
Oh!
And inside, you see Blake Banks using the ring as a weapon. And Banks, man, trust fund kid, obnoxious as hell, but so talented.
I think I would have been a good trust fund kid. What do you think?
I would have liked to have tried it too, Ron. Tag to Cam Stewart, blind tag. I don't think Hadar knows it yet, but finds out with a kick to the back. And as Hadar tries to fight off Cam, it's 2-on-1 here.
Both teams really just work well together. I mean, I'm really impressed. We've seen incredible tag teams come through WWN. I mean, Trevin, we've been doing this together for literally forever at this point. But you think that eventually the talent would just dry up. The pipeline would get shut off. It just keeps coming and coming. And in a lot of cases, getting even better.
And despite breaking the rules, you're seeing how good NIL is at working the official. A senior official like Chuck Oren, unfortunately distracted, is the double team, the choking there to Hadar. Ori Gold losing his composure and, of course, not helping his partner inadvertently as the official was distracted. And Hadar is definitely in the wrong side of town. Around, I tried to talk to Cam earlier, and all he said to me was, once you've entered the mosh pit, you don't come out the same man.
Well, those are wise words. Oh, beautiful. That's got to be it. Knockout blow, cover. Chuck's right there, only looks like 1.5. Cam's got that a lot more aggressive, a little bit of mean streak there, and I'm liking it because really he's got a big size advantage. Take advantage of that.
And I think that's the thing, is I think Cam found himself. I really do. Right. This whole music thing, the music festivals, traveling the world. I think this is where Cam wants to be, as Blake Banks trying to will on Cam. Speaking about traveling the world, how about representing the world? TerritoryTees.com, Ron. American Giant, Bruiser Brody, Championship Wrestling from Florida. All this great gear on there. Still more to come. Heck, if you're ever here live, you can buy it in person, Ron.
And it's such high quality stuff, too. It's just, you're not going to find these shirts anywhere other than Territory Tees, but I've got a few of my own.
Hold on the pin.
Come on. Chuck is right there again. It's like you got to have eyes. Come on. Get out of there, Banks.
Where nostalgia meets the ring, but right now it's Hadar Horvitz meeting the ring. Battle continues here. And you hear Blake Banks. As stated, this young man just keeps transforming himself. It's hard to believe that Blake now has been going at it a good 5+ years.
Yeah, these guys, it's again, time just moves so quick, and I watch a lot of these guys, and I'm excited for their future. Again, very happy they're competing here with us in WWN, but a lot of them that, guys like you and I that have been around forever, we look at them as the young guys, but hey man, this is where a lot of these young talents have to make their moves. And where else can you make bigger moves than here in WWN?
And we are streaming live, whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're watching us on Facebook, or on demand at Club WWN. Absolutely, Monday Night Mayhem. You can see how these talents are treating the opportunity, as Hadar Horvitz desperately trying to get to Ori Gold, and now here's Blake Banks just running in. It's out of control here.
And it's got this like melting pot feel here on Monday nights. Hold on. Big tag.
And Ori Gold finally in, and I'm going to tell you, when Ori watches his best friend get beaten on, Ori gets more and more angry, more and more incensed, and Ori's going to take it out on both of NIL.
And you got to just love the emotion. Hangs onto the ropes.
Stopping Cam Stewart, who was trying perhaps the same thing, but found out the hard way. What a ricochet into that German suplex, and could be going from bad to worse for Blake Banks.
But you see the strength on Ori. You can clearly see the size and the muscle this young man has put on. Look at this.
And back to that fireman rolling through the Death Valley driver.
Back and forth. Tag team action. Beautiful match so far.
And they're looking for that pop-up reverse STO, the Better Together. That is the end of the matchup. Big win for Better Together.
Hey, what a show this is so far.
We're only 3 matches in, Rod, and all matches have been great.
Wow. I keep looking over at our fearless leader over there, and as always, I get absolutely no feedback or feel from there, but sitting next to you, the electricity, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Our WWN Commissioner Rick Thames back there behind us as well, and you saw Rick coming out of his chair multiple times during that matchup. You know WWN officials are watching closely our incredibly competitive division, both in WWN Proving Ground as well as Full Impact Pro. Opportunity will be coming in the future.
Yeah, all eyes are on these shows right now. It's a huge spotlight to see these guys come in again. 3 kick-ass matches here so far. I love this.
ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first. He's been covered by the suplex queen, Tanaily, from Waterbury, Connecticut, weighing at 182 pounds, representing the Atomic Formula,
Brian Atomic, along with Tiny Tanaily. Tiny really does not describe this young lady when it comes to the impact that she can have on a matchup. Baby Keef is definitely going to need eyes in the back of his head here, being by his lonesome, having to face off against Brian Atomic as Monday Night Mayhem continues on.
And his opponent.
Of course, party atmosphere here. Ron, I got to hang out with Baby Keef last week.
And you made it out alive?
Well, I was only here.
Oh my God, you want to talk about the party starts when this young man walks into the building, and so much charisma.
72,000 grams. He's the highest man in your city.
Sorry, get a little caught up when Baby Keef comes in building. I was cut off the vocalistic stylings of Michael James. And how about that St. Patrick's Day jacket that Michael James wearing tonight? Flashy as ever.
Yeah, almost as good as my St. Patrick's Day's purple tie I wore like an idiot. Do you know we had American Combat Wrestling Luck of the Irish available on demand? Numerous Luck of the Irish available on demand on WWNLive.com as part of your club WWN subscription. And I don't know if I ever remembered to wear green, Ron.
And those shows were so fun, too.
And to make it worse, I'm Irish, by the way. But nevertheless, kick it off. Both of these athletes remembered their green. Of course, I think Baby Keef might be thinking a different type of green.
Yeah, he did. Very strong possibility. Swing and a miss, and both these two coming after with... Doesn't seem like there's any love lost whatsoever between these two. And Baby Keef is one of those guys, whatever beautiful drop kick, whatever town he's in, the fans just get behind this young man. It's an energy you can't deny.
So what's the difference between a city and a town? Because I inadvertently said the highest man in your town, and he said, no, it's city. And I said, you're right, that's your moniker, but...
Being from Ishpeming, Michigan, population of well under 10,000, everything looks like a city to me.
Love it. And into the corner goes Baby Keef, up and over, thanks to Brian Atomic. But you notice Keef, that man can fly. He has no problem. You can toss him wherever, and he's going to know how to plant the boots to the face.
Gets so much air that he's coming down. Cover, hooks the leg. He was coming down from above, landing right square in the face of Atomic.
Keef definitely smelling the blood in the water, getting ready to go on top again. You saw Tiny Tanaily get turned, no caught by Brian Atomic. Where did that come from, Ron?
I think Brian was basically playing possum. But again, how tough. You would think again, oh, hold on a second. Look at the athleticism. Roll up. Is that it?
Very smart by Brian Atomic. And now those kicks as well. You've seen the change in Atomic in the last year or so going for the pin. You notice the gear, taking the time. He calls himself a walking nuke, training in Muay Thai.
Watch the hand up. Watch the hand.
Speaking of training, man, how about Zone Fitness? I'm telling you right now, Ron, I know a lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions. Here we are in March. Everybody's giving up on their New Year's resolution. Well, zonefitness.club.com, excuse me, that's the place to go from the perspective if you live near Carrollwood or Trinity area here in Florida. Clean gym, knowledgeable coaches, people you can ask, hey, what should I be doing? How should I be working out? And you can finally live up to what we said we would do in January. Here in March, zonefitnessclub.com.
Yeah, and it's one of those places where you go and when you ask for some advice or help, you're not looked at like you're some maniac. You're made to feel like you're part of the family, right from signing on. And again, so much equipment, so much, look at, you want to talk about weightlifting and strength, look at this.
Less
strength on display.
Oh, lifted a gut wrench over the top rope. And that is absolute strength. Brian Atomic Think about the size differential, what Atomic just did with a much bigger man. Weight aside.
Just throwing Baby Keef aside like yesterday's rubbish. Oh, beautiful suplex. The speed. Baby Keef coming down. Hold on.
That could be it. 2 count only.
Atomic in control, and with those lethal kicks, you hear the sound of flesh and bone colliding. Beautiful European uppercut. Baby Keef tried to fire away with the feet, but was blocked by Atomic. Clotheslining Baby Keef in the corner where he's got absolutely nowhere to go. Beautiful short arm clothesline, leveling Baby Keef, who's in all kinds of trouble, Trevin.
But remember, it was last week. Catalina, ooh, pin. Catalina Perez, Tiny Tanaily, Brian Atomic getting involved, and Baby Keef had seen enough, had to leave the broadcast position, especially the post-match when things were looking dangerous. That's part of the reason for the aggression coming into this thing. If you didn't check that out, again, available on demand, YouTube and Club WWN. You can see that interaction between these two.
I like Atomic leaning all of his weight onto the back. See, Baby Keef has to carry both of their weight, but he's able to get to his feet. Baby Keef firing away with these big shots to the midsection and the ribs, but to no avail as he eats a vicious forearm right across his chops, Trevin.
And there's Tiny getting involved again, just like Brian Atomic got involved, causing that DQ tripping Catalina last week. Like I said, Baby Keef coming down. It was all about Catalina getting an interview, getting an opportunity to talk to the WWN faithful, especially about her return and coming back from injury, and interrupted by Tiny Tanaily, who we've seen attack multiple talents here, impressed again by just this gut wrench into a powerbomb. No way.
Baby Keef somehow able to reverse it. He's got both legs.
What a great reversal from Atomic. I'm telling you, Ron, Atomic, the improvement in Brian Atomic. If you weren't looking out for Brian Atomic on the roster and you think about who's moving up into a future championship opportunity, it's Brian Atomic, and a win tonight if he can manage to defeat Baby Keef.
Improving in leaps and bounds, and again with Tiny in his corner, just that much more dangerous. Baby Keef able to skin the cat. Boot right to the face. Swing and a miss.
And helicopter into that beautiful elbow, the leg lariat. One of those advantages of having the long limbs that Baby Keef has. God, what a knockout kick.
Right to the back of the skull. Atomic is stunned, but Baby Keef taking his time, getting in the higher end district.
Maybe think a missile drop kick again. No, crossbody. Leg is hooked. Oh, hair away. Jamil Nietzsche right there, our official. Counting the 3, but Brian Atomic manages to get the shoulder up.
Doesn't get any closer than that, folks. Trust me, you couldn't have slid a paper between that shoulder and the canvas. Baby Keef with the crowd behind him, but that doesn't matter. He's perched in a precarious position up there on the top rope, and he's loopy.
That's one of the challenges with heading to the top over and over again. And what is this? Again, Les Artest lift out of the corner, and Keef's fighting desperation, Ron.
So many bad things can happen with the wrestlers in this position. Big headbutt. Sends Atomic down, and Baby Keef. Look, Tiny
Tanaily getting involved. The official throwing the match out. You gotta be kidding me. Baby Keef was thinking airdrop and instead held there, jumping knee. And now the attack here, Tiny Tanaily. We have seen Tiny suplex men, and we're about to see it again. German suplex. Goodness, the strength of Tiny Tanaily.
Dead weight, Trevin.
And Keef is prone, double stop to the sternum. The damage that could be done here to Baby Keef.
We need some more help from the back. Trevin, go for God's sake.
Not going anywhere near that madness. Thankfully, Chuck Warren's going down.
Hey, gotta give give Chuck credit because not a situation that many referees, speaking of other referees, here he comes.
How many times has either Brian Atomic or Tiny Tanaily gotten involved in the other's matchup?
I've lost count.
That's the reason they're called the Atomic Formula.
Angry? Ask Catalina, because this is her fault.
Enough. These two making a big statement here tonight, Trevin.
It all goes back to last week. Tiny Tanaily again interrupting Catalina Perez and Brian Atomic getting involved, post-match attack. Very similar to this, except the difference was Baby Keef was there to break it up. Tonight, Baby Keef by himself, no Miami boys, no Catalina.
Confidence just growing.
I'm coming for you too.
The young bull, Baby Keef.
Trevin, nobody wants to see that.
No, Baby Keef doesn't look like a winner right now, but
No, and that's not the way that he wants to win, and the fans showing their appreciation and love for Baby Keef, but he wants to get that pin. He wants to walk out with either a pin or a submission.
Ron, there's no way this issue is over.
Oh no, it's just by the feel of things, just getting started.
It's just a matter of time. You got to stay tuned here at WWN Proving Ground Monday Night Mayhem. I think Baby Keef will have an answer to this attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit, and it is for the WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championships. Introducing first.
Ron, there were so many championship matches to talk about when things kicked off tonight. I didn't even get to plug this one, and I probably should have, because the emotions coming into this WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championship matchup as Lemuria begins to make their way to the ring. Well documented. Not just the way that Damian Gemini stabbed his father in the back, but of course the history between TJ Brady, Univice, Ray Elliott, and Lemuria. Number of times they've tangled up with Vice and Violence, but of course just last week winning the #1 contendership matchup that turned into this opportunity tonight. Arguably sealing things against Miami boys, Neptune's Trident, and Better Together. My argument would be Better Together had the match won and taken out the Miami boys, and Lemuria was able to run in and steal the pin. Fair enough though, in a fatal four-way type situation, you can do that. Just making the point though, kind of the MO of these two young men, talented as they are the equivalent of punk kids. And I'll take you one further. I had my own senior moment. Giovanni Flores ran in and stole the pin. Things happened so fast, even I, for a moment, forgot it wasn't even the two legal men who got the win. Ridiculous, to say the least. We'll see what they can do tonight without Giovanni Flores. Of course, you can see he's not at ringside. Smart decision by our WWN Commissioner, Rick Thames. You can't do twin magic. Not that any of them look even remotely alike. I guess it was the gear. Last week, their gear was more similar.
I'm liking the look and the just the mannerisms and everything coming together as a team, but you're gonna need more than that here tonight, baby. Attitude and looks and appearance is not going to be enough when you're facing off with, again, you talk about bad blood trap. Vice and Violence, again coming in, game face, dead serious. They got the Hound Dog escorting them to the ring. It's just, every time you think this is one of those issues that you would hope, due to being family, that it's going to settle itself, it just escalates.
You're absolutely right. And one of those situations where I don't blame Vice and Violence looking for Big Dog to watch their back as Ray Elliott's taking a swing of who knows what, and I'm never sure what the heck Univice is doing. Heck of an entrance there. Big fight feel here. In fact, such a big fight feel, we should send things down to Michael James for the official introduction of our competitors.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first hit challenger, standing to my left, and weighing in at a total combined weight of being accompanied by Rafael Gonzalez, weighing in at a combined weight of 540 pounds. They are the reigning and defending WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Champions, the Brute Rayoic, or the King of the Southeast, Uni Vice. They are Vice and Violence.
You can hear the reaction for Vice and Violence. Tag team champions for 67 days, defeating Neptune's Trident.
Seeing all this alcohol being spit out from both teams in their entrances is awfully depressing. I'm very dry back. Very dry.
After the show, Brown, you can make it, buddy. You can make it. Hey, kidding aside, Jay Taylor, our official, holding up the beautiful WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championship gold.
Yeah, I love those belts. Beautiful.
Remember, it was back at WWN Super Show Uprising just a couple of weeks ago. It was all of Lemuria versus Big Dog and Vice and Violence, and Big Dog choosing not to put his hands on his son turned into a big shock there. Damian Gemini taking advantage of his father.
I thought it was a huge mistake.
Oh, it was absolutely a huge mistake. But can you imagine? You have a son.
I understand.
Can you imagine your son in the ring against you?
No, but again, there's sometimes as the dad, there's lessons to be taught as well. And Damian has just pushed things well past acceptable at this point. But while I don't condone the behavior, I'm watching Damian again with how he carries himself, how he's appearing, how he's conducting himself as a professional wrestler. This is a grown-ass man.
I agree with that. There's no question. And a talented athlete, just like TJ Brady, a talented athlete. Of course, the Brute Ray Elliott, not exactly going through the threshold, and TJ Brady just landed on his tailbone. TJ could be injured, hiding behind the official Jay Taylor.
Cowering. He's caressing the luxurious hair of our referee. I can't blame him, but I don't know. TJ Brady is just playing some psychological warfare. Mind games.
Of course, TJ, Ray, Uni, all trained by the late, great Francisco Chiazzo, and obviously Ray had none of that, had the answer.
Hey, thrown face first to the canvas. TJ Brady claims he's been getting by on those good looks for so many years. Gonna take exception to having what he calls his moneymaker driven into the canvas.
And you saw Univice saying, "Give me the little chihuahua," as the chihuahua chants begin here.
Uni flexing his pectoral muscles.
It's getting under the skin of Damian Gemini, and Uni, of course, in phenomenal shape.
Brady, what's he screaming at us for? The hell do we do, Trevin? Something's wrong with this guy.
We didn't start the chant, but now that I've heard it, I'm gonna definitely try to start it in the future.
I think he's blaming us.
Uni overpowering Damian Gemini into the corner. Oh, right hand cheap shot, by the way.
And look at he's amused at the idea. Referee quickly separating the two. I'm not sure I would have separated them as quick as that.
The official just saved Damian Gemini.
That's exactly it.
Because I think if Univice had lost his composure, he might have pounded Damian Gemini into a pulp. And perhaps Jay Taylor knew that. Perhaps Jay said, hey, I don't want to have a disqualification because things get out of hand too early here. And of course, once again, WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championship on the line. No Giovanni Flores for the Twin Magic, or so we hope. You got Big Dog out here to keep an eye on things. But Damian Gemini, look at that. Of course, trained by his father, Rafael Gonzalez.
But if like any other wily veteran, I guarantee he didn't teach his son everything.
Oh, no question about that. But the challenge is, Damian's also learned from, well, some of the dirtiest players in the game. However, Univice now on fire. Beautiful hip toss. I don't know how he pronounces it. Might be Kosei, King of the Southeast. Uni still goes with that.
Oh!
Beautiful.
Jesus.
Butterfly into the pin. Broken up.
He's literally just threw Damian through the air and followed through, and you got to give Gemini credit the fact that he's even in the match, but he's in no man's land in that corner. Trevin, this might be it. Some harsh lessons being dealt out in the corner.
And trust me, the Brute Ray Elliott loves to beat on Damian Gemini because, ooh, smart job at the chop block. What I was gonna say was Rafael Gonzalez taking an active role in helping train Vice and Violence in recent history, but Gemini found a way to stop the bigger man, and I think we're about to see tandem bulldogs, no counter.
Blocks the double bulldog and just sends both men flying through the air. Big chop like a catcher's mitt, both of those hands. Goes for the clothesline, miss, ducks underneath. Oh my God, turns Damian Gemini inside out.
One hell of a lariat from the Brute, and ready to give it to TJ Brady as well, tagging in Univice. This could be the end of the matchup. Vice and Violence might be about to put this thing away.
Big elbow drop, I think he's got him. Ooh, 2 count. Damian Gemini was scrambling, trying to break up the pin, but TJ's able to get himself under, but Trevin, he's in all kinds of trouble. It's hard to feel sorry for the guy, though.
Could be the luck of the Irish that helped TJ even kick out. I believe he's 199th or perhaps 100th Italian to go along with the rest of the Irish. Yeah, that's the claim.
Oh, nobody home.
And you saw Damian Gemini helping have nobody home, and now the arm the target from TJ Brady. We may joke about TJ and whatever his true ethnic descent is, but we know he was taught well, and you're seeing the arm targeted by TJ Brady. About a year in the sport as a wrestler, had started as a manager, and as you can tell, has a very mean streak as Univice tries to fight out.
Well, he's got that chip on his shoulder that he's never let go. Beautiful. He might have him here.
I saw the concern as well from the Brute, but you're absolutely right, Ron. That chip on the shoulder, the anger that he was just considered a referee,
I talked to him. I talked to you a couple times after I talked to him. I remember saying, hey, listen, does anybody know this guy is not happy as a ref? He wants to wrestle. He felt he belongs, and he's never let that go.
And about a year ago, debuting, but you're right. And I'm going to be honest, I was one of the people that said, TJ, you're a phenomenal referee. Stick with that. And he's more than proved us wrong, and perhaps tonight, we could be close to new WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Champions. No.
Damian Gemini just that close to finishing off this match, and just another banger here tonight on a Monday night. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Surprised again that you're in Clearwater, Florida. It's spring break. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Beautiful night.
The whole city's a party.
It is a beautiful night here at the OCC Road House. You were watching the WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championship on the line. Vice and Violence defending against Lemeria. And you're seeing Damian Gemini, I thought, being pounded enough by Uni that Uni could make the tag, but instead Gemini taking down Uni and going after the knee.
He was able to hook that foot and ankle at the last minute, breaking up what was sure to be a tag.
I've said it before, if you underestimate Damian Gemini, he will teach you a lesson. As lessons will be taught on April the 13th, WWN and Full Impact Pro present Establish Dominance. We're going to see our FIP World Tag Team Championship defended later on tonight. You know those titles will be on the line at Establish Dominance. We're going to find out who is our tag team champions before we head in. Already mentioned August Archois. Wait, pinfall broken up. August Archois defending the FIP World Heavyweight Championship against Jonathan Strange. And of course, you will also see the Florida Heritage Championship defended later tonight. I would expect that championship as well to be on the line on April the 13th. Who will walk in as champion? Stay tuned here Monday Night Mayhem to find out as TJ Brady takes over this matchup. Beautiful pin. Hair away, and Ron, I don't like to ever blame the official, but man, that was a slow count.
That was a slow count. I don't know. I think it was just bad positioning. And again, a lot of what the referee is responsible for in there it's his positioning. You find yourself in the wrong spot. Oh, coming from way up in the air. Nobody home. TJ Brady, the elbow and that hip absorbing all of the pain. The fans.
Both athletes need to make the tag, and of course, correction. I meant Jonathan Hudson facing August Archois on April the 13th. That's what I get for talking and thinking too fast, Rod.
Well, there's a lot happening. There's a lot going on now. There's a lot coming up, and we talk about established dominance. We've done so many of those together. Uni really just got lucky. TJ whiffed. Oh, good God.
And can TJ Can either man get to the corner? Pivotal moment in the matchup, and last time I drank Jameson with you before the broadcast.
They warned you. They warned you, Trevin. I'm married to an Irish woman, and my daughter's name is Mackenzie, for God's sake.
I know a guy named Billy McGurk.
Well, you got to participate then, which we've done. Again, this is, I'm so lucky to be living where I live, but to be participating, hold on here a second. Again, on a Monday night with this kind of fun, this kind of action that you can only find here at the OCC Road House.
It has the aura of something like a championship wrestling from Florida type night, which you can get some great championship wrestling from Florida. Tease at territorytees.com. History is being made here tonight. Which tag team is going to leave with the Proving Ground Tag Team Championship? And if the big man, the Brute, continues like this, well, that could be it for the Chihuahua.
Oh, beautiful. Looked like a combination, like low cross body with the back elbow, but talk about territory tees and that's. How about that Eddie Graham t-shirt? How awesome is it?
Thing of beauty.
So cool.
If you know anything about the history of our sport, you need to check it out. If you haven't seen it, what a splash. And TJ Brady charges in and inadvertently charging into Damian and now caught with the boss man slam. Could be the end of this matchup.
Did you see the speed and velocity of Brady? It basically sent his own body into orbit and just slammed to the canvas. It was like an explosion here at the OCC.
You see Uni tagged in as the Brute goes after Damian Gemini outside of the ring, and look at the face as the hair is grabbed. Uni Vice was pleased, but just got choked. Caught over the rope by TJ Brady. Brady's escaped, and I don't think the official has any clue what's happening here.
Brady's got it. He's got a chair, Trevin.
And Elliott just got tossed into Big Dog, and inside of the ring, the chair used as a weapon. The official didn't see it. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Damian Gemini up on the top. Uni Vice is legal. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Oh, God. Not like this.
Grand larceny offense. Ridiculous.
Yeah, that is grand larceny, not just petty larceny. We've been watching this though, Trevin. It's just been, again, it just keeps building. How much worse can it get for the Hound Dog at this point? It's like he's just pouring salt into the wound.
This match would have been won. The official was distracted because the Brute had tagged in Uni Vice, but was continuing to battle with the legal man, Damian Gemini, outside of the ring. Official Jay Taylor watching out there while TJ Brady manages to hang Uni Vice over the rope, and while Uni's choking and the official's distracted, able to not only get the chair with the attack, but of course Ray Elliott pushed in to Big Dog. And that collision, those dominoes falling just like that, Ron, was enough for Lemeria to win the gold.
Damian Gemini kicking dirt into the faces of. Show some respect. Act like you've been there before.
Absolutely no respect shown. And can you imagine Lemeria for the immediate future, as long as they have those titles? We're never going to hear the end of it from these kids.
No, whether you love them or hate them, they've proven that they'll fight anybody, including his own father.
It's foul, it's obnoxious. It is absolutely not the way we wanted to end the first half here of WWN Proving Ground Monday Night Mayhem. But Ron, for better or for worse, it is reality. Lemeria, our new WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Champions, TJ Brady, Damian Gemini, standing atop the tag team division here in WWN Proving Ground.
TJ, you just can't do anything on your own, can you? See, when you first came at us, you couldn't beat us, so you brought Gio into the fold. And then that wasn't good enough, so you brought the big man Solomon, and now oh, that's right. You kicked him to the curb when he didn't serve you anymore. Then you brought in Envy Green, and now oh yeah, You kicked her out too. And now you push Gio to the side when you got your new little bitch, Damien Gemini. So Damien, this is a message to you. Be careful, because if TJ finds a new shiny toy, you're out on your ass. I'm gonna tell you this right now. This isn't over. We're coming back for the Proving Ground Tag Team Championships. And when I tell you that we are going to rip you limb from limb, I mean it. Because violence is our vice.
WWN, we just proved everybody wrong. We have gotten told that we're not meant to be part of the WWN. We have gotten told that we're not meant to be on FIP and the super shows. And look at us now. We are your new WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Champions. And you see this young man right here? We're both the same age. We have both been proving people wrong since the day we arrived in WWN Proving Ground. This man used to be a referee. And look at him now! A tag team champion with not only a one-time champion, a two-time tag team champion, but a three-time WWN tag team champion. And let me make this perfectly clear. I am nobody's bitch, like everyone else likes to say. I chose to join La Ameria on my own for the best. Business-wise, that was the best decision of my life, to join La Ameria. TJ, tell them what you have to say.
We've been traveling the towns ever since Damien Gemini joined the ranks, replacing the one known as Envy Green, replacing Solomon, who couldn't stand toe-to-toe to the rest of La Ameria. So we've been traveling around the state. We've been leaving the state, going to other places, defending titles, winning titles, and we proved yet again why we belong. You all think we don't belong on the super shows, don't belong on the FIPs. Yet again, do you remember when we debuted? FIP. We are WWN. I came from this damn school. I was the last student from this school. So make it known right now that WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Championships will not be going back to Vice and Violence, will not be going to any other team, because they are not worthy of the success we have brought the mayhem to Monday nights.
Contest is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first. He is from Brooklyn, New York, weighing at 220 pounds, the humble one,
Dino Constantino back here in a WWN ring, coming down from Brooklyn, New York. Young man been turning heads up that way, making WWN a destination, going out of his way to get down here as often as he can to get those opportunities to show he can not only hang up there, he can hang down here. I'll tell you, Ron, he beat Danny Moff once upon a time. How many guys can say they beat Danny Moff?
Not many can say they had the balls enough to even get in the ring with Danny Moff.
And you know all about the Hit Squad.
Big history with those guys, and my boys, the Shane brothers, going back to the IPW and Jersey All-Pro days. I may have been in Bayonne in 2002, rooting against you, but nevertheless, tonight here, Jay Sky, the Hellhound, coming off with a big win against Richard Adonis at the WWN Super Show Uprising. But of course, I think what everybody remembers is the post-match attack by Richard Adonis. One of those situations of winning the battle versus the war, to say the least, Ron. Yeah, Jay, with that big victory, wasn't it strange to see the two of them fighting each other after they've just done so much as a tag team over a long period of time here in Florida, and hell, all the way up to CZW and traveled the country with a lot of success as a tag team wherever they went.
That was really the upsetting thing about it, especially for us. We talked about over those 7 or so years that Jay Sky and Richard Adonis, as the Rapture, have wrestled here in WWN and around the area. I mean, we watched these young talents grow up. We watched them become so... Well, there's a real man, apparently.
Big guy, Dino Constantino. And again, that's one of those guys that knows. You talk about being a destination promotion, and again, just the WWN as an umbrella. If you are lucky enough to get the opportunity to work for any of our many oh my God, look at the shoulder tackle, just like brushing off a very big man in Jay Sky, like absolutely nothing.
And look at the shape of Dino Constantino. I know you were making the point, you get the opportunity to tangle up with some of our guys, especially, that's why Dino's here, like I mentioned. Going out of his way to leave New York to say, hey, I want to show what I can do in WWN. And a victory over Jay Sky would be a big victory for Dino Constantino, who's jaw-jacking, by the way, with our official Jamil Nietzsche.
Yeah, I don't really understand. Oh, big head of hair just sends Sky back to the canvas, head snapped off the canvas, and I guarantee a little stunned, but right now finds himself in that vicious arm wringer. Oh, rolls through it though. Look at this guy is so talented, Trevin. Beautiful, up there.
And that's the thing with Jay Sky, the Hellhound. One of those athletes that I think a lot of people just assume bigger guy won't fly. Oh no, big guy will fly. And Sky now showing that agility and a beautiful hair Karana, taking over Dino Constantino.
But again, how do you defend against that when you're against a big man who just beautiful? Again, he mixes up the offense. Hold on, covers him, hook of the leg. Could be a quick win for Sky, but again, his offense is so unorthodox. Big man, yet a lot of big cruiserweight moves in his...
shock and awe.
Yeah, it's just...
Knee taken out, senton, quick follow-ups. Not what you would expect.
No, and all in rapid succession as well.
And of course, Jay Sky been hanging out at the Fighting Spirit Academy lately as Dino Constantino puts on the brakes and says, you know what, I'm gonna change the pace of this matchup.
I can't blame him. Again, you're finding them... Doesn't take long to find yourself in trouble when you're in there with the likes of Jay Sky, who's taking it to the street himself here. Again, we've seen Sky can fight as much as he can wrestle, but I think that was a big mistake there, Trevin, paying the price.
Constantino using the ring as a weapon, first to the back, through the boards, and now the backdrop, and is this it? No, quick kick out by Jay Sky.
Not even sure there was a 1 count there. Lightning kick out. Jay Sky is one of those, again, if he does find himself in a precarious position, he does everything he can to get out of that spot as quickly as possible. Lackadaisical cover, no hook of the leg.
Well, Dino Constantino, if you were to picture his senior high school yearbook, it said, it's hard to be humble when you look this good under his portrait. That was his claim. To this day, that is what the man says.
Well, when you have mentality and confidence and strength like this.
Beautiful side slam. Is this enough? Credit to Jay Sky still in this thing, but you notice not a quick kick out this time as showing those muscles for the viewers at home and saying what he thinks afterwards.
Yeah, Viv, I don't know about the fans at home, but I'm really receiving mixed signals from this guy.
It must be from Brooklyn, New York. Counter, Sky escapes. What a chop. Shout out to Brooklyn, by the way. I like Brooklyn. A lot of fun shows at the Bell House. Oof.
Big chop. Jay Sky is feeling it. How often do you say Jay Sky giving up the size advantage in this match?
Perhaps from a muscle perspective, but you hear the people wanting another chop, and Dino starting to fight back, and a handful of hair again, Ron.
Vicious. Trying to tear the hair out that now just mounts Sky and raining down. Rights after rights. Lighten up Jay Sky.
Said it before, Dino Constantino, trained by Bubba Ray Dudley. Definitely picked up the nasty side of Bubba Ray.
I can see that now.
And Bubba probably gave Dino a ton of crap for the 5 years when he was training there, and it's all redirected against Jay, but now Jay coming to life. Might be thinking Ghoul's wings, but countered by Dino. Throwing some clotheslines there, taking down Jay Sky. And a handful of hair. Look at the way, the violence here.
No, just pounding the skull in frustration. Hook of the leg, 2.5.
I'm impressed that Jay Sky still knows where he is, if he does, Ron, at least enough to get a shoulder up. The head was hit multiple times, and now going right in a gator roll almost. Dino's been down here too long.
Yeah, Constantino with a really unorthodox offense, and he has the advantage here, but I think he's also precious time for Jay Sky to shake off the cobwebs and get that second or possibly third wind at this point, but able to get to his feet.
Well, what is it taking out of Jay to have to struggle out, taken right back down? We're seeing the mat awareness of Dino Constantino, a man that loves to disrespect and humble people. Constantino looking to humble Jay Sky right now.
In firm control, but again, it's, I think when you get Jay Sky in this position, you've got to unleash an offensive flurry, because again, he's taking advantage of, I don't know if, again, I'm watching the situation here as Dino. I mean, I'm wondering if he's kind of ran out of gas here and is trying to muster up what he needs to for that flurry.
I think Dino thought that reverse bear hug, as it started to turn into a bear hug, was going to be enough to keep down Jay Sky, but instead, Sky now, signs of life. Dino in trouble, tossed head over heels.
Yeah, I think that was a big miscalculation on the part of Dino, because again, Jay Sky's just, guys, toughness personified, and you give him an opportunity again to fight and get himself in a position where he can win this match, and here we are.
The big boot, his half of the one in the chamber, and is this it? No, close. I mean close. Couldn't have been any closer.
Referee making sure everybody in the audience knows it was two. And he's been, again, the consistency on the referees here tonight. No complaint on my part other than that one. There was one where the referee found himself out of position earlier.
Could be thinking Ghoul's wings countered. Oh, very smartly by Dino. Dino knowing the offense and a great spine buster. Sky's rocked. Is this enough? Ooh. Close, Ron.
Cannot believe that Sky is able to kick out of that vicious spine buster.
Sky somehow still fighting. Caught again by Dino, who's looking again for a second time for the neck breaker, the roll up. Not enough. And what does Constantino have in mind? Might be thinking about the Dino-matic. No, counter, small package. Still not enough.
Big enziguri. Jay Sky, I think this is the opportunity.
And I think finally you're going to see the Ghoul's wings. And that, my friends, is it. Big win for Jay Sky here.
Hey, something in the air here tonight in Clearwater. I mean, just everybody bringing their A game. Unbelievable matchups, one after the other. And I mean, we used to call it proof. Hold on a second.
Wait, what is this? Richard Adonis attacking Jay Sky. Where the hell did Adonis come from?
He's trying to break his hand.
And you can see the arm already injured.
Oh my God.
And now going after the arm as if the target wasn't enough. The damage that had been done before by Richard Adonis after their match at Uprising, and Adonis is going right back where he started.
Come on, Adonis.
Pushing over an official.
He knows better.
There's going to be a fine for that, to say the least.
Here comes the cavalry. Adonis putting his hands on an official.
Richard Adonis, we talked about it before. The epitome of a sore loser after Jay Sky, really a flash pin, victorious at Uprising. The post-match attack, what everybody was talking about, damage done to the arm. I was concerned about Jay Sky, but the fact that he looked so good in this matchup. But now Richard Adonis he's sizing something up. Ugh. Punt to the arm, the bone could be broken, Ron.
Trying to break the arm of his long-term partner. best friend, now bitter enemy and rival.
Fines are going to be levied as Adonis, pleased with his handiwork, and you hear screams of pain from Jay Sky. Horrendous attack.
Threatening the referee again.
Absolutely revolting. This needs to be stopped. The hell's it
already?
What's it gonna take to get Adonis out of there? And finally our commissioner, Rick Dames, coming down.
Well, you know if Rick shows his face, you've screwed up. You're in trouble. You went way too far this time. Adonis threatening the gentleman, Rick Dames, who's had quite enough at this point, Trevin. The only man able to take control of this, quite frankly, unfortunate situation.
Adonis calls himself the Silver Snake, and that was definitely a despicable attack. Jumping Jay Sky after a victory over a very impressive Dino Constantino. You and I were talking about how good the match was, and out of the blue, Adonis coming out here. The damage has been done, and we don't know what kind of shape that Jay Sky is going to be in. And yet again, Jay Sky finds himself victorious, but looking like he wasn't the winner in his matchup, thanks to Richard Adonis.
Paying the price of Jay Sky, but that's not the last we're going to see of this young man.
The following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit and is for the FIP World Tag Team Championships. Introducing first.
Y este año me estuvo un poco malo, gracias por la mucha gente, porque yo vine a traerle alegría.
Sony Kaze produced.
Challengers making their way here for our FIP World Tag Team Championship matchup. Bridgeport Ayala, along with the Mad Hatter, Rafael Delgado. Is the Mad Hatter gonna be able to take advantage of the fact that it is St. Patrick's Day? Goes along with the attire, if you will.
I love the look of Delgado. This is a man that just keeps improving after every single appearance. The sky's the limit for both of these individuals.
You can see both men all business right now.
Major opportunity for Ayala and Delgado. Here we go, Trevin.
The masks of Annihilation, Scyther, Chungus, along with the Emerald Emperor. Simon Says, winning back the tag team gold in dubious fashion back at WWN Super Show Uprising. Skinny Vinny was pinned by Simon Says, and well, Annihilation getting the gold back.
Yeah, not something you thought you'd ever say when describing the result of a world tag team title change.
There were numerous attacks by the Emerald Empire, and Simon Says in particular on Skinny Vinny, hence us in that situation back at Uprising. And as you said, a surprising way for things to change hands, but will Annihilation leave here tonight with the gold? Let's send things down to Michael James for the official introductions.
The challenger standing to my right, they weigh in at a combined weight of 480 pounds. The team of the Mad Hatter, Rafael Delgado, and that freaking weekend, Rich Ayala. And the opponents will be accompanied by their manager, Simon Says, representing the Emerald Empire. and Cypher
Many are beaten before they even face Annihilation after the bell, just by their mere appearance. But that's not going to happen with Rich Ayala or Rafael Delgado.
No, you're not going to intimidate those two who, again, you talk about as individuals and the accolades and the future for both of these competitors, but finding themselves as a tag team, getting an opportunity at the FIP World Tag Team titles. I mean, could be a career-changing match.
Lineage goes all the way back to April 2005. DP Associates, first FIP World Tag Team Champions. Right now are 26th champions. Annihilation, their second time as champions. Had to throw in the Metro Brothers after 364 days. Annihilation held the title themselves for 140. And then Metro's winning it back for 56. And here we are today, Annihilation, 9 days into their reign. And taking on two men who teamed together under a bit of a different banner in a different world, so to speak. Notice Scyther getting the hell out of Dodge quickly and bringing in Chungus.
Yeah, he's Scyther, wanting absolutely nothing to do with Delgado, who, by the way, look at the size of this man, just putting on some massive size. This chest and shoulders, oh my God.
Of course, Rich Ayala, the issues he's had with the Emerald Umpire, Brian Brock in particular, the attack quite a few weeks ago before Uprising, the hanging, and then the way things went down again when those two faced off. That's the whole problem here with the Emerald Empire. You got to watch out, and there's always, as we know, other members in the house tonight. You never know when they're going to get involved. That's the situation.
There's nothing too heinous when it comes to Simon Says. Beautiful clothesline by Rafael Delgado.
Delgado and RPA, they're in here on a mission. They are leaving here tonight as our FIP World Tag Team Champions, and they're going to die trying.
Big double hip toss. Love the teamwork cover. Francisco Chiazza would be so proud watching this match, seeing Rich Ayala and Rafael Delgado getting, I mean, much deserved shot at World Championships, but right now, Rich Ayala is in the wrong part of town, Trevin. I mean, he might as well be on an island just miles away from his tag partner. Look at that. Just a diabolical and sinister face of Simon Says. The guy is just, you want to talk about up to no good.
Oh, there's absolutely no redeeming qualities unless you're part of the Emerald Empire when it comes to the Emerald Emperor. Simon Says knows how to take care of his clients. The effect that Simon Says has had on this company for the last year, the gold that has been under his control. But is it about to leave tonight when it comes to the Tag Team Championship?
Loving the momentum being built by Rich Ayala, who's feeling it. You gotta be excited. I'm excited for the guy. And Rich is one of those, it kind of just seems like whoever he's across the ring from, whether the fans are with him or against him, but at all times they understand and respect what kind of talent Rich Ayala is in. Oh, the double teaming.
And unfortunately, Ayala was thinking perhaps going for the Port Authority, but indeed, well done. And that is what it's all about when it comes to tag team wrestling. Of course, Scyther now bending the rules, ripping at the face of Ayala.
Have you ever tried to communicate verbally with Scyther?
I don't understand how Chungus, well, plainly said, can understand a word out of Scyther. Scyther makes no sense.
Well, the referee has to try to communicate with this man as he's tearing the face of his opponent apart, or perhaps biting somebody. Look at the beautiful double chops.
And the question is, we will have answered after tonight. Who goes in to FIP Established Dominance on April the 13th? Live on WWNLive.com and Club WWN. We're going to be here from the OCC Road House. FIP World Tag Team Championships will be defended. Who will bring the gold to Established Dominance? Well, stay tuned right now to Monday Night Mayhem, because it's either going to be the Mad Hatter and Ayala, or maybe it's Annihilation.
Kind of got what feels like a coin flip situation at this point, but the numbers game always come into play when you're dealing with Simon Says.
Simon Says made it very clear, Ron, put a big declaration out. He was furious last week, that main event, and having Devin Diaz by himself, the entire Emerald Empire band. Simon said, I'm going to be here this week. You're going to feel my wrath. And I'm concerned anytime Simon's at ringside. Look at the maniacal stare of Says.
He's like he's possessed. You think of Gollum and My Precious when you see Simon, especially you see where the tag team titles are. Never farther than an arm's length away from Simon Says.
And Richport Ayala, the people cheering, giving the adrenaline to Ayala as Ayala tries to fight off Scyther. And another blind tag there to Chungus. And this is why Annihilation are our tag team champions. And here comes Chungus with the neck breaker.
Love him or hate him, it's just a thing of beauty. Hooks the leg, 2 count. But yeah, this is, again, a team that I saw several years ago for the first time in Fort Myers. And they stood out so much ahead of the rest of the pack at a show of that level, and to see them work their way up and 2-time FIP World Tag Team Champions.
Well, and especially in the case of Scyther, nearly 20 years in the sport.
Right.
He's the one that trained Chungus. He created his own monster as, of course, Scyther taking advantage of the distraction of the official, first by Chungus, then inadvertently by Delgado as Scyther's tagged in. And talked about it before as the head is bit. God. Scyther is obviously on another planet, and trained by Mikey Whipwreck, obviously picked up all of the insanity of Whipwreck and has turned it into his own.
And he's one of those guys that just makes an impression. He trained in New York so long ago, but I brought this man up to our mutual friend Larry Legend, and not only could he not believe that Scyther was still doing it at a high level, but he couldn't believe that he was allowed out of the hospital to even be on the streets with the rest of society in general.
Going for the pin. 2 count only, Ayala able to kick out.
But he's a guy that's simply mentally just not well. Is that a fair way to put it?
A very fair way to put it. And remember, Scyther and Chungus, 3-time WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Champions before, of course, becoming FIP World Tag Team Champions for 2 times over.
Yeah, they understand. And let's be honest, they're not comfortable when they don't have tag team gold around their waists. They're used to it.
And it's really been the state of things here in WWN as Ayala tries to fight off the impressive tag team champions. Can the challenger get to his partner Delgado?
Oh, he's chomping at the bit on the ring apron as Delgado.
Chungus tagged in and continuing to isolate Richport Ayala and going for the pin. Ron, I'm telling you, Annihilation know the tag team game so well. You're seeing a clinic here. In fact, abusing the 5 count could be backfiring.
Richport Ayala out of nowhere.
Both members of Annihilation down. Can Rich get to the corner?
Simon is trying to direct traffic, and he's just pounding on the ring apron, pleading with Scyther. I mean, the FIP World Tag Team titles are on the line, and Trevin Delgado tags in. Big forearm.
Mad Hatter in the house. Young man, over 4 years, heading towards 5 years in the sport, looking for some gold. Could tonight be the night that Delgado finally gets that gold?
Oh, he's feeling it, Trevin.
Always wondered what the Land of Wonder looked like. Well, I think we'll find out if the gold goes there, and a big boot to the face of Scyther, and this could be the end. 2 count only.
Surprised because he's got every bit of that one. Scyther, you gotta think it's just muscle memory at this one. Come on, Simon.
Simon Says, distracting the official, and I think I see Dirty Devin Diaz at ringside, running with the freaking cane. You're kidding me. Official distracted here. Delgado has no clue what he's about to turn around into. Come on.
Chungus using that cane. Now he drags Scyther over. Not like this, Trevin. Come on. They find a way, Trevin. They just somehow, Devin Diaz. I've had about enough.
The numbers game again, and a post-match attack here. Come on.
Starting to be way too much of this nonsense. Simon says will not be satisfied.
This is nauseating, and who is that? Wait a minute, that's De La Vega.
Returning.
De La Vega is back in the house. Last time we saw De La Vega, he was tagging with Richport Ayala.
And look at the condition of De La Vega, the veteran returning.
Yeah, along with Delgado, they were known as the Set, and a surprise here. I thought De La Vega had retired from the sport.
What is happening?
Hey!
Still
Hey, Simon!
That's all that matters.
Hey! Alien Empire! I know that you guys are used to always outnumbering us. I know you guys are used to that.
Come on, back. Up your head.
But guess what? Things have changed.
What? Nothing's changed.
Now it's 3-on-3.
No.
Oh, I like this.
No. Come on. And no one gave a damn about it anyway.
Shut up and listen to me right now.
Come on. This is BS. This is big on. Come on,
We are going to cause a reset in WWN.
No.
Reset.
You heard it, a reset as you said it. I love it. De La Vega back. K2 Sabe, my friend.
What a surprise. The last man I expected to see here tonight returning to WWN, De La Vega.
Salute to the shot caller. Over a year ago, we saw De La Vega along with Richport Ayala nearly destroyed themselves trying to become FIP World Tag Team Champions. And we have not seen De La Vega in a WWN ring since that day, and surprising us with the return and a reset.
What a reunion.
What a reunion indeed, Ron.
Yeah, De La Vega's just fired up, but this guy wakes up fired up, Trevin.
Looking like $1 million coming out, stopping the Emerald Empire.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. For the 60-minute time limit is for the FIP Florida Heritage Championship. Introducing first.
Challenger coming to the ring right now, John Strange, insane John Strange, coming off a big victory 1 week ago in OCC Street Fight. The Emerald Empire was banned from the building, and indeed, Devin Diaz defeated just 1 week ago. Of course, we just saw Diaz a moment ago getting involved. Strange is here, ready to face former tag team partner Lucky us, Simon says, is back. 6, Stevie Frick. I will remember the day that Frick joined with Simon Says for the rest of my life, Ron. It was not only a shocker to watch Sideshow, who had been the FIP Florida Heritage Champion. This Guy never shuts up. Been Florida Heritage Champion for 819 days, but the way it happened, I would have never believed that Frick would join with Simon Says.
Simon seems to, literally have control of this man who is a dangerous weapon to have at your disposal, Trevin.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first the challenger, standing to my right. He is from the nearest asylum and weighs in at 220 pounds. It's John Strange. And his opponent is being covered by his manager, Simon Says, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing at 234 pounds, representing the Emerald Empire. He is the reigning and defending FIP Florida Heritage Champion, Stevie Frick.
A little less than a year ago, these two were known as Frickin' Strange Tag Team Champions in Proving Ground. Ron, I realized they were defeated by Annihilation. Annihilation may be 4-time former WWN Proving Ground Tag Team Champions. But you can see how personal things are here. Oh, the right hand. Strange was distracted by Says. And it was once sick Stevie Frick was the one that really tried to rehabilitate insane John Strange. Was the one that actually taught him, instead of mauling people, let's do a slam. It's the what actually is so symbolic of the slam that you'll see thrown out by John Strange, but it is a whole different world today. And John Strange a few weeks ago helping stop an attack from the Emerald Empire, which ultimately led into last week's street fight. But tonight, John Strange has a chance to not only make a statement to a former friend, but to become our FIP Florida Heritage Champion.
Yeah, those days of frickin' Strange seems like a lifetime ago now. And again, I look at the eyes of Frick. I was trying to talk to him earlier. The guy's it's not the same guy. He's not. There's nobody home.
It's true. And if you think about it, it's only been 65 days that Frick has been our Florida Heritage Champion. It feels like months. It feels like years. Ooh, and what a big boot to the back of the neck of John Strange. Didn't expect that flexibility from Frick. The pinfall.
The one thing that me and you have discussed this again, where it's one of those things that you hate to admit it, but Simon Says has really changed careers since showing up at WWN and taking wrestlers that have been just out there grinding and getting it done to varied degrees of success. But this unit that he's amassed, it's nothing but success.
There was a day where people would have said it would be a cold day in hell before you'd see Simon Says in a WWN ring. Not only has that day come, Simon has truly been the Emerald Emperor, has truly been in charge of Full Impact Pro, WWN as a whole. You can feel Simon Says on every inch of WWN, and the way the Emerald Empire continues to grow, the gold they continue to bring, and the way this is going, I think Frick's going to retain. He's looking vicious and could be it.
And like you said, it's Simon has his fingers are in everything. There is no, if he deems it important enough, then he wants it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't, not just the titles, but the recognition, the accolades, the money.
And that's what it comes to at the end of the day. It's about the money, the winner's side of the purse, the negotiations from Simon Says they have. Even matches like this, what needs to be shelled out by WWN officials to make a matchup like this happen. The way that his champions travel to the building, whether it's limos, whether it's just...
Hey,
we're getting yelled at by Simon Says here. Yet again, we're actually saying nice things about the guy and he's complaining.
He comes over and basically lets us have it.
Bullying.
This guy mentally just, he's you know, again, unique would be one of a kind. All those terms, it's just I hope there's only one of a kind when it comes to him, because I don't think planet Earth could handle two. Hey, big splash.
And will it be enough? 2 count only. And you heard Frick berating berating John Strange.
Now, Simon letting the referee have it, but I think he might be deserving of it. We weren't saying nothing but good things. John Strange just got that fighting spirit. Military veteran serving his country proudly, and just one of those, he was a wild man in those days as well, completely uncontrollable. To take that over again with a long career in professional wrestling, I feel really only getting his due the last few years.
And it's a well-deserved due. It helps to get out of the mental institution, but Strange,
absolutely,
26 years in the sport as Frick just unloads on the gut of John Strange. And really, this is the kind of offense, what a headbutt, you can see it even rock Frick. This is the kind of offense we were used to seeing from Insane John Strange, and it was Steven Frick at the time trying to say, hey buddy, settle down.
Hey, let's tap the brakes a little bit, pal.
And again, it's the opposite right now.
Complete opposite. But, you know, again, Frick has just totally changed so much about his psychological, you know, the way he handles things mentally. Hold on a second.
Springboard clothesline, signs of life from the challenger. Can Strange make it over for the pin?
Referee already starting the count. Hey, where's the fire ref? Take it easy. There's nobody in this building, myself included, that wants to see this end in a double knockout.
Florida Heritage Championship goes all the way back to 2007. Eric Stevens, the first ever Florida Heritage Champion. Steven Frick, the 20th champion. And will John Strange be the 21st champion after tonight? Takedown by Strange, and you can tell these two, it's personal, Ron.
Yeah, this is completely falling apart. Rolling into the ropes, Strange to the outside. Frick trying to follow, and I'm not sure that's the best idea. Eats a right. Fires away with one of his own, and Trevin, they're in a very, very dangerous spot there on the ring apron.
Depending on how this ends, could be the end of the matchup, and Frick dumps straight on his back.
The most dangerous part of the ring. Frick screaming in pain.
You could split your spine the way that Frick landed. All of the force brought down by Strange, as you can see the effects of this matchup on John Strange.
On his back and his hip. Nothing but wood and steel there.
Strange sizing up. Frick has something in mind. Frick might be out on his feet. No, dodging. Good God, what a landing for John Strange, careening through the ropes.
Literally flying through the air. They just, Frick, I mean, no regard for the safety whatsoever. Big GDT on the outside.
Neither athlete caring for the safety of the other, because what did it take out of Stevie Frick to deliver? And look at Says.
What's he doing? Says he's on his hands and knees on the ring apron, calling out orders, and like a player coach, he's trying to steer this ship of.
We're up to 8 here. It's a 10 count. If we get up to 10, this thing's over. We're all the way up to 9, and Strange just makes it. I don't think Frick realized. I think Frick thought it was a count out.
Barely breaking the count. John Strange leaping through the bottom rope, but he has absolutely no idea where he's at right now, Trevin.
See the
or does he?
Of disgust. But guess what? Mandible Claw being employed here by John Strange. We could be a hair away from a new champion. Center of the ring. And what the hell is Simon Says doing?
Come on, Says. Is there anything that he doesn't stick it on? Hey, go ahead and stick your nose in the business of John Strange, Simon Says. See how that works out for you.
I'm very excited to see what's going to happen next. We should have known.
You jinxed him. Trevin.
We should have known.
Low blow. Frick to John Strange, who nearly had his hands on the Emerald Emperor, who's had enough. Palin holding on to his heart.
Deplorable actions from 6 Stevie Frick, and the life of Simon Says just flashed before his eyes.
What are you gonna do, fatso? Huh? What are you gonna do? Watch it. You watch it.
Referees telling Simons enough. Get out of here. Again, Trevin, we might not like the tactics, but it's pretty hard to argue with success. Enough already. Leave Trevin alone.
We're not doing anything. We're getting screamed at by Simon Says. But John Strange, whoa.
Enough already. This guy's out of control. We need to keep a closer eye on him.
Cameras didn't catch that, but
no, he's ready to jump.
Simon Says
up here for us.
Almost jumped up here. You saw Michael James took so long to do the announcement. He was terrified of Simon Says. Wouldn't even go back to ringside. And how the hell is John Strange even walking?
It's not over, Frick. It's not over.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event. It is a triple threat match scheduled for one fall. With a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first.
LJ Cleary making his WWN debut here tonight at WWN Proving Ground, Monday Night Mayhem. And I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have never seen LJ Cleary before, it's going to take you about 2 seconds to realize why this man is not only phenomenal, but we're only going to have so long to watch this man live his beautiful life on the independents, because this guy's going to be on national television sooner than later.
And his opponent.
We got an authentic Irishman in the ring, and a man named after today's holiday about to head to the ring.
He hails from Champaign, Illinois, weighing out 182 pounds. He is in shape of all trades.
That is absolutely the perfect gear for Jay. Whoa, watch out, watch out, watch out! Ruthless Rob Drake attacking Jake St. Patrick on the way to the ring. This is a triple threat match here tonight. LJ Cleary versus Ruthless Rob Drake versus the Jake of all trades, Jake St. Patrick. And the Ruthless one just took out St. Patrick and may have taken out Cleary too, Bron, and this match hasn't even officially begun.
No, this is one of those only in WWN type matchups.
And you hear it now. Bell has been rung, but I think the Ruthless Rob Drake, the man from Blackpool, England, with a big spear. I think this match is already over. And it probably would have been if LJ Cleary didn't come running in here.
Cleary says not so quick. Again, trying to make every appearance here in the United States count. I was lucky enough to see this young man compete a couple weeks ago and was just blown away. Could not believe the athleticism, and again to see a match with talent like this. What a match to headline here tonight, Trevin. Look at the speed.
Show-stealing performance every time LJ Cleary's in there, as Jake and LJ working together to try to take out Rob Drake. Beautiful flying leg lariat. And what's LJ got? Knee to the back.
Drake, such a physically imposing man.
a beast, trained by the grizzled young vets, a little over 4 years in the sport. We saw Drake debut last week in a great match against Rich Port Ayala, but Ruthless Rob Drake, oh wait, inside the ring, pinfall.
Hey, just that quick, going from working as a tag team to trying to pin the man you were just working with moments before. That's the way it goes in a triple threat match. And St. Patrick, again, just in fantastic shape. Every time we see him, this guy just gets better. Oh, goes for the punt. Trying to decapitate Cleary.
And I've said it before, Jake St. Patrick, pound for pound, one of the best, but when you're the size of Ruthless Rob Drake, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, just catching St. Patrick midair, and look at the strength on this big man. Like a Viking. Nobody home. Cleary quick as a cat. Look at this, Trevin.
And LJ.
I mean, how do you defend yourself against somebody coming from all directions?
Speed, but Ruthless Rob Drake coming in there and having an answer for that speed. Talked about it last week. Drake beat the current Noah heavyweight champion once upon a time, Taishi Ozawa. He's currently one half of the TNT tag champs overseas. Oh, pinfall. You've seen him in Progress, you've seen him in ICW. And known for that burning lariat, he calls it ruthless. He hits that, it is the end of the matchup, and what a suplex on LJ Cleary. Is that enough?
We always talk about the history of WWN and FIP and how it's always been just a grooming promotion for such incredible talent. So many of them on TV every week now, but the talent in this ring right now on a Monday night in Clearwater, again, you wouldn't see this match anywhere else.
No, not whatsoever. The pinfall. 2 count only. You got Blackpool, England. You've got Dublin, Ireland. I'm not very good at those. And you've got Champaign, Illinois, all represented in the ring here. LJ Cleary, believe it or not, 12 years in the sport, trained at the Fight Factory Pro Wrestling School. Believe it or not, that school was set up by Finn Balor once upon a time.
I really, again, I was so impressed with just how everything he does, every single motion matters. And Jake St. Patrick with the feet going to work on the much bigger man and just tossed aside, almost as an afterthought.
And the triple threat nature of the matchup, of course, we've seen it now while Ruthless Rob Drake was berating LJ Cleary. In came Jake St. Patrick. Now you're seeing tandem offense, but 2 men taken down with a double clothesline by Drake.
This man is the real deal. I look at Drake and I think about just the idea of him against Brian Brock. Can you imagine? Like just 2 freight trains, but he's in there again. You need a victory in a match like this tonight.
And Jake St. Patrick writhing in pain, center of the ring. Well placed here.
Screaming, Trevin. I mean, can you imagine the ribs feeling like they're just gonna crack at any moment?
The bear hug from hell, trying to fight out, and it looks like Drake's got an idea here to squish Jake St. Patrick in the corner.
Drake screaming in the face of Jake St. Patrick. I don't know what in the world St. Patrick could have possibly done to insult the man.
LJ Cleary trying to break things up, coming in again, now going for the sleeper. Very smart here by the Irishman. And the boot from Jake St. Patrick. Again, it's a little bit of a 2-on-1 situation, and jumping into Guri. Are we gonna finally see Drake taken out?
Now once again, working as a tag team, and you can't blame him again, this big man.
LJ springboard, drop kick, takes off Drake, but Drake lands on his feet. You saw how quickly he was coming back to the ring, and now Jake St. Patrick, suicide dive, and it's effective.
What a match, and just a night full of, again, incredible matches, but here we are. Oh! Is that it?
Neckbreaker well delivered. Is this gonna be it? Over the knee? No. It is every man for themselves. Smart move by LJ Cleary. Already talked about the fact the man is so young, yet so tenured already, but he was once the youngest ever Irish junior heavyweight. And an over-the-top wrestling NLW champion. Irish Tag Team Champion, the first ever Irish wrestler to challenge for an AEW Championship not long ago. But tonight it is a WWN ring, and we're seeing Jake St. Patrick take control.
And you've seen Cleary was trying to locate St. Patrick, who kind of almost found himself in a blind spot, was able to unleash this surprise attack.
Cleary, a regular in pro wrestling. Noah, hopefully, might not think he's in Japan right now the way he's been knocking Loopy. Pinfall. Oh,
and while in Noah, wasn't he teaming with one of our other old buddies, Anthony Green?
It's correct. Hung out with the alternative Anthony Green, former FIP Florida Heritage Champion. Hung out with people like Stallion Rogers, another WWN alum.
And other good-looking people, from what I understand, they were recognized for over in Japan. Was it the good-looking guys?
I wouldn't argue. I would not argue. And Jake St. Patrick going for it. Oh, caught. Well done. That detonation kick's beat many men, and LJ Cleary had the answer.
Hey, Cleary's obviously been studying the tape, and St. Patrick setting it up, and we know how dangerous this man is from the top rope.
And as Jake heads to the top, here comes Rob Drake. Don't forget it's a triple threat. And let's LJ catch with the big kick, Jake St. Patrick. I can't get over ruthless Rob Drake. Like a literal monster, just keeps coming back. And he's in the ring. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh! Bad for both Jake St. Patrick and LJ Cleary. Powerbomb suplex combination. Look at ruthless Rob Drake.
Is he just too much tonight? Here for Jake St. Patrick. Cleary, I mean, this man's like an uncaged animal. Jacked, dangerous.
Going for the spear, Jake St. Patrick leapfrogging. Smartly done, hits the spinning heel kick. And a kick of his own by LJ, and double savate kicks. Taking out Rob Drake. And now Jake St. Patrick was thinking bangarang, but caught instead. And we're about to see the beautiful life tamer. Jake St. Patrick taps out. The action so fast in this matchup. Ruthless Rob Drake, probably in control 2/3 of this thing by himself, Ron, but was able to finally be taken out long enough for Jake and LJ to go at it one-on-one. It took the two of them to get rid of the ruthless one, and quick set of action, so impressive. Had that bangarang of Jake St. Patrick hit, LJ would have went down, but LJ, great counter and hitting that beautiful life tamer.
Excellent match, and Jake St. Patrick getting word out. This is how you get the message across internationally. You find yourself in a position to show that, again, you're in there with some of the top talent from around the world, and Jake St. Patrick did more than hold his own in there.
Beautiful showing by LJ Cleary, who is living his beautiful life, as he puts it, living his dream at 26. Great main event here, WWN Proving Ground Monday Night Mayhem. Ruthless Rob Drake making a name for himself. Jake St. Patrick showing why he's awesome, and of course, LJ Cleary the victory. It's a hell of a night, Ron. We've had tonight. Parting thoughts.
Yeah, I had an awesome time. I knew it when I saw the card. I told you this is a special one. I want to come in. I appreciate you guys having me. Trevin, it's always fun. No matter how many times we do it, it's like the first time all over again, and I love it.
No question. For Michael James and Ron Nini, I'm Trevin Adams, WWNLive.com for all things World Wrestling Network.